No, Margie, any other questions?
Yeah. I guess what I really want to know is it possible that a magnetic field anomaly, disturbance, could occur from space? Like, could a CME or, a strong enough solar flare or HARP or something, could that also cause what sort of seems like arcing? I mean, these are smaller booms that I've heard. It was not as big as what just happened in Pennsylvania.
Mm-hmm. Okay, thanks for the call. Scott?
Yeah, right now, where we're going through in the solar system, and I have this on a video too. Someone just released another video on it. We're going through this cloud anomaly that's 30 light years across, burning at 6,000 Celsius, and it's affecting our sun. Our sun is being affected right now. Can we have disturbances from the sun? You betcha we can. And will it impact the Earth and orbital wobble and everything? You betcha it will. When you're dealing with magnetics, because that's what we're dealing with, man, any one of these events, and as the moon is being pushed away and being compressed, because they're getting hit by the space quakes too. In Wikipedia it says space quakes can be as high as 5 or 6, but you know what? That's guesswork. That means they've only seen them as high as a 5 and a 6. Okay, there was one earthquake that hit. Where was it? I think it was Easter Island. It was about a week and a half ago, and it was a 6.5 earthquake. And USGS did not show it. So it didn't throw up an S wave, yet RSOE emergency disaster website showed it. And I got it on film. I went ahead and filmed it and right off the computer, and it never did show up on USGS. Now they had 2 quakes that showed up after that, a 5.7 and a 5.1, but the 6.5 never showed up. So I'm thinking that area probably got hit with a space quake, and then it was followed up by 2 earthquakes. Because it can trigger them. This is an anomaly that is it's very dangerous stuff. I don't think anyone's ever thought of getting hit with an earthquake from the sky before. Now, is there a weapon that could trigger an earthquake? That was their second thing. The only device I see with that kind of power is CERN. I mean, they're dealing with dark matter. They're dealing with photons, neutrons. They're dealing with the stuff, man. And with Project Alice, yeah, I could see them bend light, and that could trigger an event. It looks like in the past they were using nuclear bombs on some of these fault lines in the ocean, 6.2 miles down to try and fuse them. I've seen that over there in the Atlantic Ocean. They did it with about 10 nukes. But then you've also had the Department of Energy using nukes underneath New Mexico and Nevada to get at gas reserves. They couldn't get through the rocks, so they used some nuclear bombs.
Well, they even said something a while back with the oil spill in the Gulf that they may use a nuclear bomb for that. Did you hear that?
I heard it, but that was speculative.
I don't know what the heck that was about. But they are doing tests, and they are out in the open about this. They just allowed for many more tests to take place all around the country in these testing zones. We had Rosalind Peterson on about a year ago to talk about this. Fascinating stuff. Scott, we never did get to the question I had about Denver and Colorado and that area. We'll talk about that in just a moment, and we may have a chance to fit in a few more calls in the final segment of the Bob Tuskin Show coming up in just a moment to finish things off with Scott from the Believers Underground. Next week on the Bob Tuskin Show, we have a lot planned as always, so continue to stay tuned to the Bob Tuskin Show. And our website, of course, bobtuskin.com, TUSKIN.com. final segment of tonight's show. Finish things off with Scott of the Believers Underground. All right, Scott.
All right, man. Let's hit Colorado.
Mm-hmm. Let's get to that. What's the deal? Should we go to Colorado? Are they building bases there because they know something that they don't want the masses to know, perhaps?
Well, I put out a video called Fourth World Wilderness probably about a year ago, and it has Rothschilds talking in front of the UNSUD Summit back in '92. And they were talking Colorado. They were already going in there before the UNSUD Summit, securing the water rights and buying. Water is going to be your big thing. Okay, you get snowpacks and stuff in there, and they got water reserves in there. Okay, water is your player. Fresh, clean drinking water is going to become something that's very, very. With all these changing water or weather patterns, it's bringing up all the toxins out of the soil. You look at Texas, their drinking water is as nuclear as it gets. I did a video on that, and then their TV did a show on it, because the piping systems got messed up. And they had radium already going into their main drinking supply over there. And after all these aquifers were slushing for hours and hours after that nuclear event, wow, the nuclear levels went up big time in their drinking water. They're not even taking the scrap metal in the scrap metal yards. They're throwing 20, 30 rads off, or the hot water heaters from people's house. So that means all their pipes are radioactive. Anybody who's living in Texas, man, I would get a Geiger counter, start testing your pipes. So you think about these little children playing out in the water in the heat and stuff, and there's radioactive stuff in it. I'm like, man, they totally don't care, and they've been brooming those reports for decades. But here it is, man. This is incorporation. This idol. This idol is a mass murderer for the greater greed. In all of the United States, every single church should be screaming to get this idol out of the United States. Every Christian, every Jew, okay? If you're Jewish, okay, you got Jewish ancestry in you, okay? You're worshiping an idol as well, okay? All the Christians out there, you're worshiping an idol. Or you jumped in bed with it, if you got articles of incorporation, or anybody involved with any of these incorporated idols, because it's a piece of paper they gave life, it's an idol. And you guys better start screaming for the hills, man, because we're not going to be able to change one darn thing here in America until we get that idol out of the picture. And then we could start helping folks, moving them up, take our money back, because that was taken by that idol. Okay, you're casting your pearls before swine. Man, it's a piggy bank, man. It's an idol. These are not banks. These are idols. And you got to get that through your head. They're idols. And as far as Denver goes, man, even the Queen of England bought into Denver last year. They're looking at that as an oasis, because of the water. And are they building underground bases? You bet you they are. On your dime. Because you're giving them the money, man. They're taking your money through this OTC derivatives con, man. They don't care. They took your houses. They kicked the women out of their houses in the streets. I see these tent cities set up over here in Washington. I've seen them down here in California. They're all over the place, man. People don't care. There's 4 million empty homes sitting there. Home sales went up 3% and rentals went up 9% because no one could even qualify for to even buy a house. So, and then the banks, they took all this paper, threw it on the open market in this mortgage-backed securities fraud, which was in a big insurance con called the derivatives. And credit default swaps. And what they did was they insured the loans through a bond and then got a triple payout and took your house. And then they don't even have the paperwork for your house, so they can't even resell it. And that's the whole reason why, we don't have this thing. And Obama goes, oh, yeah, we'll have 50-year mortgages so everyone can get a house and everything. Man, it's just lies, 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 and more lies because it's all coming from a freaking idol. An idol's a lie. Legal fictions are lies. Fiction is not real, phony, made up. It's baloney. It's all baloney. And everybody needs to start, you got that bumper sticker thing. We'll start making bumper stickers, bumper stickers. America's just idolatry, man. And just keep doing it until everybody understands that incorporation's a legal fiction. It's a lie, it's an idol, and it needs to go, period. And as long as they got this idol in place, ain't nobody going to be able to do nothing, and they're going to screw you blind. And they're taking $4 billion a day from you, from interest, okay? Interest. It goes for nothing. That's $40,000, $100,000 houses that are going to pay the AIGA stupid insurance con. All your monies are just being controlled and operated by these 227 families, and now they're having an inner battle on who wants what as they throw another fish to the wind. And I see this and I'm going, people, you take your country back, man. Take your planet back. You get rid of this idolatry, man. It's part of the atheist agenda. See, that's why they're pushing that atheist stuff, man. That is all being run by incorporation. They want you to believe that they're the God, okay? Because all those atheists are worshiping a demigod. They're under the authority of a demigod, an idol, a piece of paper they gave life to. And it's going to destroy them, too. And they don't even understand it. They've been brainwashed. And I sit there going, man, just everybody lift up your light, man. It's time to throw it up there on the hill and just let it shine. And then they can't do this nuclear garbage. Then they can't take away this clean energy that they've had on the table that we could have put in, this HHO energy. They can take those fuel rods out right now and replace it with water energy. I mean, there's so many different things that could be done, but until that idol is kicked the hell out of Washington and out of the United States, we can't move on nothing. We are chained to an idol. Forget that stuff, man. And as they try to number the people, man, they just stick one number after another on you. Here, have a credit card. Here's another number. Here, have a driver's license. Here's another number. Here's Social Security. Here's another number. Here's another number, and they're just putting numbers and numbers. Prisoners wear numbers.
Wow, Scott. Amazing stuff. All right, buddy, we're all out of time. Thank you, as always, for coming on the show. We'll see you next week.
All right, man. Love everybody. Have a great weekend, and let your voice shine, man.
Right on. All right, folks, there he goes. Scott from the Believers Underground.